She's not going to tell you she likes you. In fact, most women will never say it out loud. But here's the truth. She's already showing you, and you're probably missing it. She's not going to walk up to you, look you in the eye, and say, "I like you. Do something about it." That almost never happens. Not because the feeling isn't there, but because attraction doesn't usually speak in words first. It whispers. It shows itself quietly, in movements so small, they're easy to miss if you're not paying attention. And that's where most men lose the moment. They stand there, having what feels like a completely normal conversation, thinking everything is neutral, nothing special, nothing meaningful. Meanwhile, her body is telling a completely different story, a story filled with subtle signals, quiet invitations, and emotional cues that never make it into language. And here's the part that stings a little. Many men walk away from that moment believing nothing happened, only to watch someone else step in, someone more aware, more observant. And suddenly, she's engaged, smiling, interested. It's not luck, it's awareness. Because the truth is, most of what people feel isn't spoken out loud. It's expressed through the body, through unconscious behavior, through the small, almost invisible details. If you learn to see those details, everything changes. You stop guessing. You stop second-guessing yourself. And you begin to understand what's really happening beneath the surface, because women are not complicated in the way many people think. They're expressive, just not always verbally. And once you understand that, you begin to notice the quiet language that was always there. It starts with something simple, almost too simple to take seriously. Her hands, and what they do when she's around you. There's a moment, subtle, easy to overlook, where she lifts her hand to her hair. At first, it seems ordinary, casual, meaningless. She brushes it back, maybe once, maybe twice, but then it happens again and again. Now it's not just fixing her hair anymore. There's rhythm to it, a pattern. She begins to twirl it, lightly, absent-mindedly, while listening to you speak. Or she flips it over her shoulder, slowly, deliberately, while holding your gaze just a second longer than necessary, and something shifts. What looked random starts to feel intentional. Because it is, not in a calculated way, not planned, not rehearsed, but instinctive. When someone feels drawn to you, their body doesn't stay still. Energy builds quietly beneath the surface, a kind of nervous excitement that needs an outlet. And the hands, they're the first to reveal it. Hair becomes that outlet. Soft, accessible, always there. So she plays with it, without even realizing how often she's doing it. From her perspective, it's nothing. From yours, if you're paying attention, it's the beginning of something. It's her body gently saying, "Look at me." Not loudly, not boldly, but just enough. And then, almost without noticing, her hand moves again, but this time, it's different. Slower, more delicate. Her fingers trace along her neck, just barely, like she's not even fully aware of the motion, or she shifts her hair to one side, exposing that space for a moment longer than necessary. And something about that feels different, because it is. The neck, it's one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. It's not something we expose freely, not unless there's a sense of comfort, a feeling of safety. So when she draws attention to it, even subtly, it's not just a random gesture, it's a release of tension, a quiet signal that her guard is lowering, that she feels at ease in your presence, that something inside her has softened. You might see her tilt her head slightly as she listens, her fingers brushing lightly across her collarbone, her posture opening, just a little. And in that moment, her body is saying something her words haven't caught up to yet. I feel okay here. I feel comfortable. And sometimes that's where attraction truly begins. Not in excitement, not in intensity, but in comfort. Then there's a moment, almost magnetic. Your attention shifts, without you trying, because she brings it there, her lips. It might be as simple as her pressing them together softly, or tracing the edge of her lower lip with her finger, or slowly applying lip balm, even though there's no real need. It's subtle, but it holds your attention longer than it should, and you don't always know why, because your brain is wired to notice it, and hers, whether consciously or not, knows that, so she highlights it, gently, naturally. Her hand lingers there for just a second too long. Her movements slow down, her gaze stays connected, and suddenly, the conversation feels different, closer, more personal, because attention has shifted, not just to what's being said, but to how it feels, and in that space, something unspoken begins to grow. Then, there's the small things most people completely ignore. Her jewelry, a ring she spins slowly around her finger, a necklace chain she runs between her fingertips, an earring she adjusts, even though it didn't need adjusting. At first glance, it looks like nothing, just fidgeting. But look closer. There's a pattern. It happens while she's engaged with you, while she's listening, smiling, responding. Her attention is fully there, with you, but her hands, they need somewhere to go, because emotion creates energy. And that energy doesn't just disappear. It moves, it looks for expression, so it shows up in these small, repetitive actions. Her fingers stay active, even as her focus stays locked on you. And that combination is powerful. It means she's not just present, she's invested. And then something shifts. The invisible line between you gets crossed. It happens quickly, almost too quickly to process. She laughs and lightly touches your arm, or places her hand on your shoulder for just a moment, or her fingers brush against yours as if by accident. But it's not an accident because physical space matters, and people don't cross it casually, not without a reason. Touch changes everything, even when it lasts only a second. It creates connection, it builds familiarity, it turns a conversation into something more, and when she's the one initiating it, that's not random, that's a signal. A quiet but clear opening, a way of saying, I'm comfortable being closer to you. And how you respond in that moment matters more than most realize, because hesitation or stiffness can close that door just as quickly as it opened. But awareness, calm, natural presence, that keeps it open. Sometimes the signal isn't directed at you directly, not yet. Sometimes it gets redirected. You're sitting together, maybe across a table, and her fingers begin to move along the edge of her glass, slowly, almost rhythmically. She traces the rim, again and again, or slides her finger along the side, while maintaining eye contact. It's subtle, almost hypnotic, and easy to overlook, but it carries meaning, because when attraction builds, but hasn't yet turned into direct action, the body finds alternatives, safe outlets. So instead of touching you, she interacts with something near her. The movement becomes softer, slower, more deliberate, and all the while, her attention never leaves you. That's the key, because it's not just the gesture, it's the combination. Eye contact, engagement, and that quiet, continuous motion. Together, they tell a story. Then there are the adjustments, small, precise, almost invisible corrections. She smooths her top, straightens her sleeve, adjusts something near her collar, checks how her clothing sits. It looks like self-consciousness, but it's more than that. It's awareness, because when someone matters, even slightly, we become aware of how we appear to them. So we refine, we adjust, we present. Not out of insecurity, but out of intention. She wants to be seen in the best possible way, and she does it without saying a word. And then there's stillness, the kind most people misunderstand completely. She rests her chin on her hand, her fingers lightly framing her face, her eyes steady, focused, present. From the outside, it can look like boredom, disinterest, but look closer. She's not distracted. She's not looking away. She's not disengaged. She's there, fully, listening, absorbing, taking in every word. Her posture relaxes, Her expression softens, her attention deepens, because sometimes when someone is truly interested, they don't move more, they move less, they settle into the moment and stay there. And that's the part so many people miss. They wait for words, clear signs, obvious statements, something undeniable. But attraction rarely begins that way. It starts quietly, in gestures, in movement, in presence, in the way someone looks at you, the way they position themselves, the way their body responds before their mind puts it into language. And when you begin to notice these things, really notice them, something changes. You stop feeling confused. You stop wondering where you stand. You stop missing moments that were right in front of you, because now you can see them, not perfectly, not every time, but enough. Enough to understand, enough to respond, enough to stay in the moment instead of overthinking it. Because the truth is simple. The signals are almost always there. Quiet, subtle, fleeting, but real. And the person who learns to see them is no longer guessing. He's aware, and awareness. That's where everything begins.